Professional wrestling, a pseudo sport that gained much of its popularity in the 1980s. As a kid, you believed the sport to be a real conflict between real people, two people lashing out in anger, causing a lot of injuries and chaos. And if you were a child who grew up watching the sport, you were probably crushed to find out it was a complex performance planned from start to finish. Rather than two people in the ring, it's two characters there to entertain an audience. Professional wrestling trainer Jeremy Boyd at Landmark Arena in Cornelia said that this is one main difference between wrestling and other forms of fighting.
Our job is to connect. MMA, your job is to go fight. We're performers.
For Boyd, his character's name is Slim J, after rapper Slim Shady, or better known as Eminem. He got this name for his rebellious attitude and love for rap music as a young teen just starting out in the business. Boyd says that a part of the sport is to completely submerge yourself into your character, which is exactly what he did.
They made me dye the hair blonde. I came out to Eminem music, and it drove me crazy for a little while, but I am committed completely. When I go into something, I completely commit.
Boyd was so committed to his character that he began learning more about music and writing his own songs, fooling some of the locals into thinking that this was real-life Jeremy.
People like around here, and even like my agent, who's AJ Styles' agent, thought that was me because I became the character that he gave me.
As we talk about wrestling being a performance, the bloodstained ring gives a different story. Wrestling requires real contact, real pain, and real injuries. The pain, Boyd said, is one of the hardest things to get used to, and a reason why most people can't make it in the business. But if you do it long enough, Boyd said, your body will adapt to the numerous blows, much like martial artists' bodies adapt after striking several objects.
Your body has to build callus around, like when people, like Japanese people, they go kick trees. They build calluses around their shins. We're doing that with our entire body.
One part of the body that won't build enough calluses to protect itself is the head, and with any contact sport, participants are at risk to head injuries and concussions, which could lead to even more serious diseases like CTE, or chronic traumatic encephalopathy. One high-profile case was that of Chris Benoit, a professional wrestler who killed his wife, 7-year-old son, and then himself. What was thought to be an incident of roid rage later was determined by a study conducted by the Sports Legacy Institute to be a case of CTE, where Benoit's brain resembled that of an 85-year-old Alzheimer's patient. Benoit was 40 years old at the time of the incident. Boyd, who has been in the business for 18 years, had a hard time giving us a solid number to the concussions he's had over the years.
I couldn't tell you. I've lived very extreme.
The first time Boyd had a serious head injury was not far into his career. He said that he was known for a specific move that required him to jump off the top rope of the ring onto the floor, a move that had room for error and did not end well for him.
I got knocked so unconscious that I woke up in the ambulance. So that was 2 years in the business, and that was my second concussion. And I've had numerous.
So if you were going to kind of maybe ballpark it, how many would you think that you've had for the whole career?
Major or minor?
Oh.
50 to 70.
According to Terrence Martin, an aspiring wrestler, there have been concussion protocols placed on the sport which ban or limit certain moves to prevent head injuries. To him, like any sport, injuries are a risk that you take when you love what you're doing. He said that CTE isn't really something he worries about.
Obviously, there's been some wrestlers who have really taken an interest in that, but as far as me personally, no, not too much concerned with it.
For Boyd, his motto is that he only lives one life, and he told himself that he would be a professional wrestler. To him, head injuries are just a part of the business. He also believes that your overall health is a contributing factor to these types of injuries.
I got hit in the head numerous times. It's going to make me have effects. But I've seen people that have worse effects from less. That don't care about their health.
Where Boyd does consider the head injury risk, he would still allow his children to make the choice to wrestle if it was something they wanted to pursue. He said that if it wasn't for the business, his life would be completely different. He uses the sport as his personal outlet.
And I was into the bad friends, drugs, and then I found professional wrestling, and it really made me grow up.
Okay. So would it be fair to say that wrestling's kind of saved your life?
Completely. My dad would say that. He said it numerous times. He said I'd be in jail or dead.
In Cornelia, I'm Joy Holmes, Vanguard News.